Welcome to the show that takes up no more than 5 minutes of your time, but could help you gain massive real estate knowledge. It's 5 Minutes in Real Estate with best-selling author Shane Willis.
Good morning, Shane Willis, Pensacola real estate expert, bringing you today's episode. Whoa, a little later this morning. Kind of had one of those Monday mornings. It's April 2nd after April Fool's Day, and I have to admit there were a couple of people that did get me that were very, very serious. But it was a lot of fun. And I kind of had a plan to get started this week, and of course a lot of things change. And if you're not fluid in this business and the other businesses I'm in, then you're going to get stuck. You're going to get frustrated, and you're going to wind up not being able to accomplish anything, actually. So this morning I got up. A friend of mine has introduced me to jiu-jitsu this morning. That was my first class. Was supposed to be this morning, or was this morning. I have taken martial arts for years, a lot of stand-up work, but never a whole lot of groundwork. So that was something I wanted to do, because I know that would help my flexibility with some of the other training that I'm doing. So I got up very, very early to go to a 6 a.m. class to go work out. And as I'm walking out to my car, I take a look at my daughter's car, who I know she has a bunch of practice tonight, and they got championship week in the color guard and everything else. Sure enough, she's sitting there with a huge flat tire. That's how Mondays start for some people, huh? Needless to say, I had to cut jiu-jitsu a little short. I was able to get through the training portion of it, but the practicing, the rolling that happens afterwards for about 45 minutes, I was only able to do about 15, 20 minutes of those. So I get back, get her school, and then spent the rest of this morning so far changing out a tire. But that's done. And now you know a little bit about what's going on in my world on a Monday morning. Let's talk about the real estate world. Today's episode, and I'm going to encourage you to go over to the actual post. I'll put the link up in iTunes and Google Play to go to the post where I post this on the podcast on our website, shanewillis.com/podcasts. Today's episode, I'm going to encourage you to go actually to the post, because I'm going to reference about 5 or 6 other posts that I've done. And so I'm going to have links to those posts in the show notes on the website. So you may want to go to look at that, because today I felt like it was kind of a culmination of a lot of things that I've done over the past 6 months, different posts here and there about buying a property and why it makes more financial sense to do so than renting. I know we talked about that Friday, and there's something, I did get some comments over the weekend, hey, what about if you're going to be there a year, which I think I had mentioned in the show. Hey, if you're going to be there a year, it may not make sense, but let's forget all the outliers and talk about the normal or the normality. Normally, it makes much more sense to buy than rent. Now, I know immediately, as soon as I say that, the first thing somebody's going to say is, well, yes, but I don't have any maintenance or taxes or insurance. Although if you are renting, you should have a renter's insurance policy. They don't have any of those that I need. But I'm here to tell you that the landlord has built that into the rent. I promise you. I am one, so it's not hard for me to argue that point. That gets built into the rent automatically. So it makes a whole lot more sense to actually purchase. And I'm going to... So, sorry about that. We had a phone call come in. One of my clients. It took about 30 minutes here. So we're getting back to it. So what I did today, as far as the posts and what I wanted to kind of culminate with all the rest of them, were I did 5 blog posts that I'm going to put in the links that highlight some of the areas of what we're talking about, and that it makes more financial sense to buy than sell, or buy than rent. One of them, one of the reasons I put it, and we wrote a whole blog post about it, was it's a forced savings account. Buying a property is a forced savings account. You're paying down on a mortgage, so it kind of forces you to save it. There are some still tax savings. Now, the blog post that I wrote was actually in 2017. I know that we've had the Trump tax bill happen, so that's changed a little, but there are still some tax savings for the majority of us. Now, if your property is worth more than $1 million, there may be a little bit less, but for the majority of us here in the Panhandle, those tax savings are still in effect. Here's the biggest one. One of the biggest benefits is that home ownership is actually going to allow you to lock in your monthly cost. You get that 30-year fix, and I've talked in other podcasts about how you can take a 30-year fix and pay it off in 15. But at least you know this is going to be your standard payment, whereas rent is going to continue to rise. Now, will you see some changes? Absolutely. Taxes may go up a little bit. Insurance may go up a little bit. Those are things that are going to change, but not at the same rate that rents are rising. So I wrote a whole blog post on that. That's on it. Buying a home is cheaper than renting. I know last month we did a podcast episode and we talked about how it was 28.9% of your monthly income was going to a rental payment on average around the country, whereas the buyer 17.2. So buying is definitely cheaper than renting. And, well, no other investment's going to let you live inside of it. And that's actually a blog post that we wrote. Studies have shown that homeowners' net worth is 44 times greater than a renter. 44 times. Just a few months ago, we explained that a family that purchased an average price home at the beginning of 2018 could build more than $44,000 in family wealth over the next 5 years. Building a new house right now, the average is going to be $44,000 in family wealth in 5 years. And break that out per month to put into your IRA or what have you. Now, if you were renting, that's going to be on top of your rent payment. That starts to make all kinds of sense. Listen, I can go on and on about this. I don't want to because it says 5 minutes in real estate, so we're going to try and keep it down some. Go check this particular blog post out. Like I said, I'm going to link to the blog inside of the show notes. So go check this out so that you can see the other blogs, not podcasts, but the other blogs that I posted up. And you can understand kind of, hey, buying just makes so much more financial sense than renting. It just does. All right, that's all I got for you today. As always, if you've not subscribed to the podcast, get over to 5minutesinrealestate.com. That's 5minutesinrealestate.com. Also, if you haven't subscribed on iTunes or Google Play, head over to your player of choice. Make sure you hit subscribe. Would love a thumbs up and a comment. Be nice. And finally, if you found any value in this or any other episode, make sure that you share it on social media. Thanks for listening. Have a fantastic day.